Hi there, friends. Today we're going to talk about the wonderful world of whole grains and why you'll want to include these plant-based powerhouse foods into your meal plan if you want optimal nutrition. We're going to demonstrate how to cook 3 types of whole grains: quinoa, brown rice, and kamut. I'm Nichole Dandrea-Russert, Food Revolution Network's dietitian and recipe developer. Welcome to the How to Cook series, where our goal is to set you up for success so that you can create delicious and nutritious plant-based meals in your own kitchen. To soak or not to soak. For quick cooking grains like the ones pictured here: amaranth, quinoa, buckwheat, millet, bulgur, and teff, you don't need to soak these grains. However, you will want to give them a good rinse to wash away any debris or residue before you cook them. For quinoa, there is a compound that surrounds the seed called saponins. Saponins help to protect the plant from predators, keeping them from eating the seeds. Now, this compound may cause digestibility issues in some, or may offer a bitter flavor. So the way that you can reduce the saponins is by rinsing the quinoa underwater for about 20 to 30 seconds, or until at least the water runs clear. Now, some brands will pre-rinse the quinoa and sell it in bags already pre-rinsed, ready to go. However, if you know that you are sensitive to quinoa in both flavor and digestibility, then you'll want to rinse it before cooking. So it's time to transfer the 1 cup of rinsed quinoa to your stovetop pot. We're also going to add 2 cups of water. We're going to bring this to a boil, then lower to simmer, cover it, and set the timer for 15 minutes. So with those quick cooking grains that we just discussed, they generally require 2 cups of liquid to 1 cup of dry grain to cook. You have 2 choices when it comes to the liquid. You can either use water, which will add a neutral flavor, or you can use vegetable broth, which will add a vegetable broth flavor. You can even get creative and add some of your favorite spices or aromatics like garlic or onion or ginger as the grain is cooking. Once the quinoa is finished cooking, you'll want to leave the lid on it for about 10 minutes, and then you can remove the lid and you can fluff the quinoa with a fork. From here, you'll want to let it cool completely before storing it either in the refrigerator for immediate use throughout the week, or you can freeze it. And this is delicious in grain bowls, added to salads, or made into veggie burgers. Moving on to the rice. While white rice has been stripped of its nutrition, including fiber and B vitamins, there are plenty of rice options that are wonderful for you, including red rice, brown rice, black rice, and wild rice, which all have lots of nutrition, including fiber, B vitamins, minerals, phytonutrients, and they're also a great source of plant-based protein. So there is one compound found in rice that often gives rice a bad reputation. It is arsenic. Arsenic is found in the soil in which the rice is grown. The amount of arsenic in a particular rice depends on where in the world it's grown and how much arsenic is in that soil. I do have good news for you, however. We are about to demonstrate how to reduce the arsenic in rice significantly by one simple method, and that is parboiling. If you parboil your rice for 5 minutes before fully cooking it, you can significantly decrease the arsenic content. Okay, you're going to add 1 cup of your rinsed rice to the pot. And then you're going to cover it with water, and then turn your heat on medium-high until boiling, and you're going to boil this for 5 minutes before rinsing it, adding fresh water, and proceeding with cooking. Next, we're going to add the rice back to the pot after it's been parboiled. And then generally, you'll need about 2.5 cups of water to 1 cup of dry rice. However, since we just parboiled this rice, it's partially cooked, so we may need a little bit less water. And then we're going to heat that on medium high, let it boil, then lower to simmer, cover it for about 25 minutes until it's tender. It'll need less time since we've already parboiled it for 5 minutes. Next, we're going to talk about hearty grains. Hearty grains have a tough outer shell, which means that you need to soak them before cooking them, which helps to decrease the cooking time and increase their digestibility. Hearty grains include things like kamut, wheat berries, farro, spelt berries, and oat groats. So these grains do require some soaking before cooking. Soaking also helps to reduce the phytate content. So phytates are compounds found in plants that can be healthy for us, but they're also known to reduce mineral content, essential mineral content, including calcium, zinc, and iron. So one way to reduce the phytate content is by soaking the grains overnight or up to 24 hours, and then you're going to discard that water that contains the phytates before adding the grains to the pot to cook, along with some fresh water or vegetable broth. Now, the amount of liquid to add to these hearty grains can vary. It can vary depending on the age of the grain, the type of the grain, the amount of time that it was soaked, as well as the cooking method. Okay, so we have our 1 cup of soaked kamut that has expanded, which is why I'm using this large pot, because after your grains soak for 12 hours or more, they will expand in their size, so you might need to get out your big soup pot for these soaked grains. And then we'll add 4 cups of water or vegetable broth. And then we're just going to bring this to a boil and turn it down to simmer, cover it for 45 to 60 minutes. Check it at 45 minutes just to see if it's tender. You can do a taste test, and you can also see if it needs any more water at that point. And if it's still not tender enough to your liking, then you can continue cooking it for another 15 minutes for up to 60 minutes. So once it starts boiling, we are going to add the lid, turn it down to simmer, and let it cook. So there you have it. Now you know how to cook 3 delicious and nutritious whole grains, quinoa, brown rice, and kamut, so that they can be available at any time in your fridge, especially for times that you are limited on time to prepare a meal. Of note, if you are preparing whole grains in a pressure cooker, your time and the amount of liquid may significantly be decreased. So make sure to check some guides on how much liquid to add and how long particular grains need to cook in the pressure cooker, because it can vary significantly. Also of note, conventional grains can be significantly high in pesticides. For this reason, we do recommend that whenever possible, try to choose organic whole grains. And then finally, I mentioned in the beginning of this video, cooling your quinoa completely before storing it away in the refrigerator or the freezer. You want to do the same thing for all grains. Make sure they completely cool. You can lay them out on a baking sheet to let them cool quickly, and then store them away once they're completely cooled. So for next time, I hope you'll join me. We will be demonstrating how to prepare beans and lentils. Whole grains and beans and lentils pair together perfectly, along with vegetables and a plant-based sauce, to create delicious, satisfying, and nourishing bowls in minutes once you have those lentils and whole grains prepared. So stay tuned for next time. I'm Nichole Dandrea-Russert, Food Revolution Network's dietitian and recipe developer. Make sure to visit the blog that accompanies this video, so the How to Cook Whole Grains blog, for more information and more tips on how to prepare whole grains. I'll see you soon.